talking and thinking about reimagining your life, creating a life that is totally connected to who you are. What's the goal? Freedom and contentment. Contentment that's not forced contentment, learned contentment, but just a natural contentment. And an idea or an analogy that has come to mind is that learning analogy of we have different animals throughout the animal kingdom, and this is connected to expectations. So we have a monkey, and monkeys are designed to climb up trees, swing from trees. They have their specific diet. We have fish. They're designed to swim in water and be fluid in water and have their specific diet. And if the fish is told that being a fish is wrong, that monkeys are what's right, and this is what we expect. We expect to move and be like a monkey. So we need to be able to climb up trees. We need to be able to swing from branch to branch. We eat these foods. And so here's this little fish, and he's trying to maneuver on the water with his little fins. And he's trying to get up a tree. He's struggling to get up that tree. And all the other monkeys are looking at him like, man, you are a mess and you're a failure and you really need to work on yourself. And so the fish, he gets frustrated because he is struggling, legitimately so. And he's getting kind of beat up physically and emotionally because of all the failure and not fitting into this paradigm. The paradigm is that monkeys are what we are, and we swing from trees and we climb trees, and this is the food we eat. And the fish, he's like, man, I can't do this. I'm not. And so he starts getting about being what he is, and he's looking at it, he's like, man, I stink, man, I suck, I fail. I need to change. So he really works at changing. He puts on a monkey suit, and he designs what he feels is acceptable in this group. This suit is what appears to be the most accepted, and he goes on and lives his life as a monkey. Is he happy? Is he fulfilled? He's working at it, and he's supposed to be happy, so he does the work to be happy, but is he really? Is he really happy? And then you say, okay, now reimagine your life. So he looks through the lens of his conditioning, his monkey schooling, and he tries to reimagine his life. And man, he's just not connecting to it. I can't see how his life could be in the future. What can he do? What could he be? Because it just doesn't connect to him. And he's like, man, see, I can't even reimagine. I just have this blank slate. Why? Because he's not a monkey. He's a fish. We, in our lives, get into a very similar situation. When I was in third grade, I didn't read. I have an auditory processing disorder, dyslexic and auditory processing disorder, and I spoke really funky, and I couldn't read. I'd get directions and be in groups of people. It was very awkward because I struggled to understand what was being said. And so my world was just this confusion, and I just prayed to God that he would fix me. I said, oh my gosh, I'm failing at everything. I was so miserable, felt so alone, and I didn't understand what was going on. And so I was a fish, and I was in a system that said this is what was right. It was like, if we can take it back to the monkeys, this is what's right. You climb trees, you swing from trees, and you eat this certain food. And I was a fish. You don't know that. I didn't know that. And the system says if you can't do reading, if you can't do these things this way, you are wrong. So I said, man, and I'm failing at so many levels and don't understand why. So I put on a monkey suit and I say, okay, what I am is terrible. I need fixed. Please fix me. The wisdom of source energy said, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broke. So I was asking to be fixed, basically changed into a monkey. And they're like, no. There's nothing wrong with you. And I was frustrated and hateful at the time because I was so miserable, but I didn't understand that I was fine at the time. So I've spent the last 20 some years understanding the layers and healing the layers of what happens when we put on the monkey suit and are fitting into what we perceive as right. Then when we really start to go, but I want freedom, I want contentment at the core of us. Well, we need to be able to go there, to be able to reimagine yourself, to reimagine your life. You can't look through the lens of the monkey. You have to look through the lens of who you are. In our story, reimagining means look through the lens of a fish, but first you have to realize you're a fish. Take the monkey suit off and go, okay, what am I? Oh, I'm a fish. Where do fish live? What are their gifts? What are their abilities? Put that fish back in water and let it swim. And all of a sudden, it's easy. The fins that were trying to walk and climb trees with much difficulty are now just swimming through the water with ease. Now imagine your life. When you really get down to that, who am I? What are my gifts as who I am, connected to who I am, not connected to who I am in the monkey suit. My gifts connected to the monkey suit still are going to create a disconnect. Who am I as a fish? And what are my gifts as a fish? Put me in my element as a fish. Now reimagining my life is easy. It's clear. So in our lives, we want clarity. We want this freedom and ease of being who we are. And it comes by getting down to who we are, really, without all the suits, without all these personas and things we've created to exist in what we thought we needed to exist in. No guilt, no shame. It's just what made sense at the time. But now that you're not comfortable with that, you're ready to shift, it's time to really get down to, well, who are you? And we can do a lot of thinking, personal growth techniques, being positive. Those are all great. But if you're still trying to do it as a monkey, it will only be making you satisfied as a monkey, but you're not a monkey. So are you really satisfied? Are you really moving forward as you? Do that same technique as a fish, the authentic you, that person that you are. And now you're accelerating. Now you're putting acceleration in your momentum because you're working as your authentic self.